All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube, Pastor Dowell. You know, I been paying attention a lot lately, and I'm sure that many of you have been following my sentiments as I make this analogy right here. I've noticed that you have either liberals and conservatives, opinions, perspectives, and point of views. I noticed that you have them pretty much, almost in every aspect of life. Now, surely we can't be sitting up here stopping every few minutes because of this. I was getting ready to go. You see that? Behind this trash man right here. But anyway, you have opinions, perspectives, and point of views. Liberal and conservatives. I'm just going to narrow it down to them two. It's like you pick one of those particular attitudes, you pick one of those particular philosophies, and then you can tell where your mindset is going to operate in. Look at all the little baby cows. That's what I feel it's going to look like, all the little baby cows like that. Okay, because you don't get rid of some more land, right? So anyway, so check this out. So in political aspects, you have religious, well, you have physical conservatives and liberals. So what's the difference? Okay, well, if you go to the biblical side of things, usually the conservatives are the ones who actually have strict adherence to the law, to morals and values, the way that they will want their children to be raised. For instance, there's a boy, girl, right, wrong, and this right and wrong is based on the book. Now, mind you, both parties are subject to the same law, but yet the other party believes that they have the right to stretch the law, to twist and bend the law. That would be the liberals, to suit their feelings and their emotions. Because the book says to the law and to the testimony, meaning there's a structure, a baseline. The law, then the testimony is the witness. That's what the testimony is. The testimony is articulate witness based upon the law, okay? And then, of course, the book says if they don't speak according to this word, there's no light in them. And so what people will do is you'll take something that is so biblically sound, and then you'll get someone that has a twisted, a demented mindset, and they'll twist it to suit their own agendas. And they'll swear up and down that they are men and women of truth. And when you go back and you read the word for itself, you're like, wow. Like, for instance, homosexuality, that's not even a question. We all know that the book says that anybody participates in that type of lifestyle. The Bible says mankind lies with mankind is an abomination, and not only that, they should be put to death. All right? If a man is found to be presumptuous, regardless of what they repenting for, whatever it is, the law says death. All right? Today, that equates to separate from them, don't have no company with them, don't have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. That's what it says. Rebuke them, reprove them, correct them, period. And people cross a lot of lines in philosophy and perspective. And so right now in America, we have mostly the conservative party ruling not only the presidency, but the Senate and the House. And that's the reason why that you're seeing all this woke agenda stuff slowly but surely going away. Harvard just got finished having their funding pulled from them by President Trump because of their quote-unquote woke agenda. Because this ain't what this country about. You cannot put two men together and produce a child. See what this is genocide. See, a lot of these philosophies are genocide because you can't advance as a nation if you're not having babies. You got to reproduce. Are you follow me? But when you start adopting things other than what is morally right, and you start embracing man on man, woman on woman, and then you start having all of these contrary word opinions, and you take the very word itself and you twist it, you warp it, you wrestle it, you destroy it because of your own feelings and emotions, then you're starting to change the whole fabric of what the law is intended for. And not only do you have that out here in the natural concerning Republicans and Democrats, but you also have it in the church. Now I'm using the church because everybody's familiar with that term. If I said assembly, people probably wouldn't know, but most people wouldn't. But you using the church. You'll see women, when they come to church, you'll see some that dress physically conservative. Then you'll look at others, you can tell that they're very liberal, if you understand what I mean. Very liberal. I mean, now think about this. If you go to church and you show up with a head covering and a dress and you're wearing flip-flops, are you conservative or are you liberal? Then people say, well, it's based upon what you would call holiness. Now, nothing wrong with wearing flip-flops out on a daily basis, whatever you're doing, but you don't want to go to church wearing flip-flops. Why? Because it's just something that is understood. That's just all it is. It's just something that's understood. But some people, they see it a different way. And they wear flip-flops. Hey, that's totally up to you. But don't sit up and get mad at someone else that has some nice shoes on and you're going to become the judge of them because you're wearing flip-flops. I mean, because after all, even in our assembly, you can come on into the assembly and stuff, but then once you get to your chair, everybody usually pulls their shoes off anyway. You know what I mean? I even preach with no shoes on the majority of the time. But what I'm getting to is I think everybody can see what I'm saying, though. And that's the reason why that we're so confused today, because there's so many different choices. And nobody's basing the choice off of what Yah says. They're basing the choice off their vain opinion. And then what the book says, many are deceived by their own vain opinion. So we know, according to the word, that there are going to be people that twist intent, warp, and distort. And then there are going to be those of you who have that same twisted, demented mindset that's going to be over and agree with them. And rightfully so. Hey, you're supposed to. But what is the acid test of all of this? The acid test in all of this is, what are you producing in life? Because if you're prosperous in life, no matter what you're doing, it's going to show. It's going to show. But if you're not prospering, and of course a lot of people think prosperity is embezzling money, stealing money, figuring out ways to put on a phony crying act and stuff and get more money and operate off of people's sentiments of their hearts, and that's how wicked a heart is, and all this, and just that, man, they become experts at how to get money out of you. So does car salesmen. Man, my wife would tell you right there. Say hi, little girl.
Hello.
She'll tell you right there that when we go to car dealers or car salesmen or we're dealing with stuff, she pretty much, she don't say anything. She leaves up to me because I'm not saying I get belligerent, but I don't get belligerent. But I tell you what, I'm pretty damn forceful and forthcoming in my speech. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Because it's just part of the art of the deal. All right? And what I mean by belligerent, let's say if you are trying to get to a car price, and let's say $40,000. You tell them 37, they come back 39,900. I say, look here, man, ain't no need in sitting up here playing these dang mental gymnastics in the game. Do you want to sell the damn car or not? Because you're not showing me that you want to sell the car. I already know what the car is worth. I don't care what you have on this sticker price right there. All right, so I tell you what, you're going to play them damn games, I'll do this game, 37,100. Here goes, oh, okay, well, okay, we'll go 39,800. I'll go, guess what? Bye. See you later. And then you know what I'll do? I'll take the same very car that I was trying to buy for them. I'll turn around, go to another dealer, get the deal that I wanted, and then go back to that dealer and say, you see this car right here? I bought this car at this dealer down here for the price that we negotiated on, because you know why? The people was being intelligent. I just got finished doing that with an ATV. They were trying to tell me, well, you know, I said, okay, don't worry about it. I left Tennessee, went to Kentucky, bought the same ATV, and then bought it cheaper. You see what I mean? If the deal doesn't work out in one place, go to another. And but what I'm getting to basically in a nutshell is it's about mindset. And most people are not intelligent. They have spent no time studying. They don't understand the system. They don't understand what the will of Yah is. But they do know their feelings and they do know their emotions, and they're experts, because all you got to do is watch them. They can't quote any scriptures in context. I mean, it's one thing to be able to quote a scripture, but can you quote 2 or 3 or 4 of them in context at one time and then articulate what they mean? Can you put line upon line and precept on precept, or all that you have is just your words? Because again, most people hide behind religion, try to make you think there's some type of righteous thing. All you got to do is peer into their lives. It'll tell you how obedient they are to Yah. Watch what they do. It'll tell you how obedient they are. And then you'll be able to ascertain what type of man or woman they are. But we're pretty much dealing, and people are just going to go to the sides that they want to. And that's fine and good. You have one life, choose what you want. But most times when people get convicted about anything, it comes because of a true word. And then later on, we adopt other means and other modes, and it's sad is what it is. But you got to determine in the church, are you obedient to Yah, or are you deceived in your obedience by being disobedient but trying to convince everyone that you are obedient? Regardless of what anybody else does, you got to read the book for yourself. You got to go ahead and study and meditate. And then when someone starts speaking, you can be able to tell if they're off or if they're on.